when we spoke about creativity, and you brought in the economic elements within our own setting, traditional stories, our own narrative culture as we have it. And then you connected this with the situation. And you're suggesting that from the point of view of creativity, we need to go back to that kind of economic culture. And I'm wondering, two things here. Would the plants, the multinationals, or whatever global entities who are your real targets, so to speak, would they be in favor of this? Are they willing for you to tell your story? Or would they rather that the story is constructed somewhere and then you can use an adaptation of it? It's a matter. You're thinking of an audience that you need to connect with because you are actually the middleman between your client and the consumer. Now, this audience that you're trying to connect with and they're suggesting that through back to the narrative culture code, the audience has also changed. How many of you young people are listening to traditional stories about the tortoise? So really, how does it work? When they find for planting notice, I just not there, the audience is not listening to it anymore. They're talking about stories elsewhere.
I need to reply to that. Very good question. Very good. Let me make a point that storytelling is the root to go. It's part of the root to go. There is no doubt. Let me give you a first example. Many years ago, when the brother of Gula felt that brand was stagnating, and left with a jack in the hand, and came up with all sorts of creative solutions. And we did research, what does the consumer looking for? How can we? And don't forget that at that time, that brand was being marketed on a particular platform. And we just felt that, look, we needed to reassure the consumer of certain intrinsic and extrinsic values of that. And that's how we came about the need to tell a story about the ultimate search. Alright? We needed to find a story. And in, like what McCann says, truth well told, we needed to also find a platform of telling that story in a very unique and dramatic manner. And what did we do? We needed to tell a story about the ingredients that are used in the brewing of Buddha. Same ingredients, hasn't changed. But we needed to connect with the consumer to let them know that we know this brand, it is not just the ultimate. You need to understand why it is the ultimate. And in telling our story, we have to go all the way to Spain to talk about how, what's the name of this man? The guy who discovered America, who went to Columbus. We told the story. We found the ship that he used on that expedition, and telling that story was an expensive exercise. In fact, I remember when my people took the estimate to the client. In fact, I just dropped them back. He said, how do you expect me to take this? What are you guys talking about? Then, 1.5 billion pounds to tell the story, to shoot one commercial, 1.5 billion. I had to lead them to go back and make a second presentation to justify why in telling that story and assuring the client that if we did that, if we told that story, I was putting my job on the line that there will see a change in the sales level of Buddha. And we went. I went the team that shot that commercial in Spain. Alright? promise you, the owners of the brand, because you were asking when the owners of the, in fact, I remember, first of all, the name was the MP of Nigerian. He said, chief, he usually calls me chief. I'm not a chief. I said, first, he said, chief, you are putting my job on the line. I said, but what happens if you now begin to sell a lot of product? He said, well, both of us will be in the business. I said, okay, I assure you that's not enough. When we shot that commercial and they sent it into Amsterdam, they applauded it because the story that we told in our own way, even though we even needed to use some of the materials in Spain to tell the stories. And did it impact on the sales of it? Since then, Nigerian Breweries have never looked back. It was in that process that we then started this thing they do every year. The ultimate search. That we introduced as part of the storytelling. That there's a treasure to brew that brand. It is, in fact, it's the greatest thing that can happen to anybody. And that if you can't do that, you are the king of everything. You know? So really, it is, I mean, somebody said something, I can't remember that there's imagery. It's not about imagery. If the consumer does not believe the story, he will not participate. He won't try. He will not even spend his money to buy it. So they believe the story. That's why I said truth well told, like I can't say. You know? So that's the, then to your question about, today's kids don't even understand that folklore. Alright? That's fact. Who is responsible for that? We. I plead guilty. You know, in a situation where one of my children, in fact, in later life, we had to employ a Yoruba teacher. She was already in university. Each time she came home on holiday, we had to engage a teacher to teach her Yoruba. She doesn't know how to speak language. And yet, here was I, a victim during the Civil War. When they looked at me and said, you are so they told me to speak some things. Thank God. My mind raised back and look, if this girl, if any such thing happened, and you were going to tell us, make a sentence in Yoruba, she did not speak in English. So, talk less of connecting with our phone. Is it too late? If I tell my children stories that have to do with Ijebu land, I'm an Ijebu man, and the great thing that our Obadi fighting the British to stand still and telling them they shouldn't pass through, when, you know, the British, when they want to go to Italy, they will pass through Ijebu land, and they say, you have to pay, you have to pass through. And they started a war, and I said, I will fight you. And use also metaphysics and you know, if I told them such a story, they'll open their eyes. Really, did that happen? You know, and I can tell them many more stories. And you know, we have to try. We have to try. And I tell you something. Don't let us generalize. I know some tribes who would stop at nothing to ensure that their children connect with their roots. The Hebrews are one. No, it's true. It's true. I think the Igbo and the Hausas and you cannot find a Hausa child who does not speak Hausa. You cannot, not one. So those of us in the southwest or south should not just generalize. There are kids who connect with their roots. So I think we need to start. Because, look, I have seen communications from different parts of the world. I see them regularly. Brazil, India, Spain. The communication is even in their dialect. And you look at it because the beauty about communication is that you don't have to hear what they're saying. Just look at the pictures. Are you with me? The images are in sync. The images are in sync with the story that's being told. And you can connect with that. So I don't think we should discard this matter. Alright? I know you may be saying, well, but we got to get started somewhere. Because I promise you that the one way that people can easily identify the story that we're telling is one, if they can link it to their roots. Two, if they can see themselves participate in whatever that story is.